drink. Ugh. What up, gangsters? My hair's kind of wet. Don't mind that. So I just got finished up doing my morning meditation, and real quick. Let me give y'all this little. Actually, no, I'll say this. So during my meditation, recently I've been connecting with a fellow conscious creator. She's very awesome, and when I think about her, I get aroused. I was kind of visualizing this scene. I'm not going to get very specific, but I started getting an erection. And so I started to just do this breathing exercise that I'm going to show you guys. But how this breathing exercise came to be, that's the story I was going to get into. So this started because, okay, so basically my relationship with my sexual energy has been extremely undisciplined and extremely identified with like the body. And what I mean by that is up until last year, I basically just identified with my urges. I identified with the lust, I identified with the body. And so when these things came up, right, I had these desires, I had these lustful desires, I would just act upon them. And I discovered porn at 10 years old. So I was, let's just say that, shit, before that even, I was fucking on YouTube 7, 8 years old looking up, you know, girls kissing videos. You know what I mean? Like, I was a horny kid. Right? And so, like, growing up, my relationship with my sexual energy was that it was, I knew it was very immense. And, like, looking back on it, it was very, like, I could see this with full awareness. But I couldn't, obviously I didn't really understand it, and I couldn't control it then. And since it wasn't being transmuted, right, once I discovered pornography at 10, that was really when I stopped creating, right? I wasn't really drawing or making comics. I wasn't dancing. I really wasn't making YouTube videos or anything like that. Since it wasn't being transmuted into creation, into expression, then the only way for it to be expressed was through this path of masturbation and porn, and that just led to a path of darkness for 10 years of pornography addiction. And so last year, I finally, like, actually was able to gain some strength over my desires. I was able to get enough distance from the body and be awareness, right? Be the observer. And I was able to hold my desires in awareness and see them and feel them and experience them, but not have to identify, not have to act upon them, right? That I was able to start getting to a point where I could start doing that around April, March, May-ish, 2024. And so this is really when I, like, kind of started really getting on, like, retention and, like, being celibate. I'd had, like, a celibacy stint for 4 weeks, from December 2nd to December 30th, from, like, 28 days, and I broke it on my fucking 20th birthday. So this is 2020. This was 2023. My first, like, 4-week stint of not fucking busting in, like, a decade probably, which is crazy. But if you think about that, right, for 9 years I basically was just every day, more often than not, multiple times a day, I was just expelling my sexual energy, right? Whenever desires arose, I was giving into them, right? Whenever I had, you know, like morning wood, I woke up first thing in the morning, well, we're on that. Get home from school, well, we're on that. Before bed, well, we're on that. You know what I mean? Sometimes be 2-3 times a day. It should be crazy, bro. And so I just have this very undisciplined, very identified with the body, unaware of my truest nature relationship with my sexual energy. And once I actually started creating, and I knew I wanted to really start committing myself to creating, which was May 2024, when I started posting daily on YouTube, I knew that I had to hold the sexual energy if I really wanted to um, get to the place where I wanted to go, right? In Way of the Superior Man, it talks about how sexual energy is the energy of creation, right? And procreation, right, children, that's a very small aspect of sexual energy. Sexual energy is the energy of life. It is eros, right? And so we have to really hold this power that is held within us, and we have to not release it, when we feel expelled and we feel like tight and we feel tense. We have to hold this. We have to transmute it, right? We have to hold this in our body. We have to transmute it into our art, into our creations. And so with this breathing exercise, it's my hope that with some practice, you'll get to the point where you can actually start doing this. Now, let me say this. It's not gonna be like the easiest right away. So let me actually tell you the story of like how this came to be, because I was just blabbering. Y'all know the kid. But basically, basically, I had gotten to a relationship in August, right? So about June, July-ish, May, June, July, I was basically on retention for like 2.5 months, right? And when I got into my relationship, I started to, about maybe like 2 weeks in, I started feeling this like pain, like I mean genuine like tenseness and like pain in my testicles. Like I'm talking like sharp pain in my balls. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And it didn't feel like something was necessarily wrong. It just felt like they were just full. Right? Honestly, it just felt like those motherfuckers were full, and that they weren't used to being that full since, like I told you guys, I'd spent the last decade basically just fapping every day. Since I just spent the last 2.5 months building up this reserve of energy, it was just immense, right? It built up so much in my body, and I didn't really understand how to control it. And at the moment, I wanted to just give in. I wanted to just like expel it through like pornography. I wanted to just give in to the lust and masturbate. But like that's how it like that was the bodily desire, right? From like my highest being, from my highest level of awareness, from my truest sense of being, of course I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to hold on to this energy. I wanted to continuously transmute it and put it into my YouTube, into my business, into my art. But it was hard. I didn't really understand like what to do about it, right? It was like I was taking like painkillers and shit. I was like, fuck, bro, this is fucked up. And so I was like, all right, let me start like trying some breathing exercises. And I tried a couple before, but it never, like I tried breathing exercises before, like in the first half of 2020 or like the first quarter of 2024, but it didn't really work that well for me. But then I found this video, and this video changed everything. And it basically talked about how you have to really focus and almost like tense up the area even more, right? And like through that focus, then you can disperse it. It's kind of like this mindset of like, how can you disperse from an area if you don't even know what area you're focusing on? Think of, actually, here's a good example, a laser. A laser is focused light. It's very focused, right? Think of when you feel that sexual energy, when you feel that real tenseness, that pent up energy in your root, in your genital area. When you feel it really pent up there, that is a sign that you have like this laser, this focus, this pent up energy in this one spot, right? And so what we want to do is we want to not have a laser, like think of it like a super bright, like a super focused, like deep red laser, like super deep red. And what we want to do is we want to have this focused laser, and we want to expand it and disperse it. And we want to dilute its focus. We want to expand its attention, its awareness outwards from this like focused area into, more of your body, right? And so like from the genital, from the pelvis, from the root area into the rest of your body, right? And so before, when I was doing this, I didn't really have this like focus, like tense up mentality. where I was like genuinely, basically what I do now, and here, we'll get into it. What you want to do is you want to breathe into the area, right? So if it's your, I mean, more often than not, I believe it'd be your pelvic area, right? Like it'd be your balls, or, you know, if you're a woman, it'd be your vagina. Breathe into that area, but more than just breathing into it and like holding the intention that this is the area I want my breath to go, I want you to really like focus and even like tense up that area. Like if you're a guy, you can like push up and like hold, like tense up your pelvic floor. I'm sure women can do that as well. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But like tensing up your pelvic floor, that's like, I feel like the biggest shift. Because when you have this like physical experience of this is exactly where the energy is pent up, this is where my breath is going, this is where my intention is going, this is where the energy is stored, and you're breathing into it, you breathe, I want you to breathe like super deeply and super sharply into that area, okay? So let's breathe together, let's try it. With your intention, I want you to direct your breath to that area, right? I want you to feel it. I want you to see it and feel it in your body. I want you to feel and see the energy of your breath going to your genital area. And as you're doing this, I want you to really like push and hold and tense up your pelvic floor, tense up that area. So we're gonna breathe and tense up the area, and we're gonna hold that for as tight as we can. All right, so let's breathe. While we're holding, we're tensing it up. And we're super tense, right? And I want you to hold that for as long as possible. And then as soon as you can't hold it anymore, right? And you want to let go, I want you to disperse it extremely like quickly and heavily. So I want your breath to go like, you know, it's like, and then I want you to think about the energy just dispersing extremely quickly, right? From this like focused area, almost like scattering out, right? With your breath. And so when you're breathing in, you're tensing up, you're focusing, you're harnessing that area, and then when you breathe out, you release it. You scatter that energy into your body, the rest of your body. You can think of it as, you know, maybe moving from your genital area to the rest of your body, right? Like your legs, your arms. You can think of it from your root chakra to, you know, up your chakra system, like up your spine. You can conceptualize it either way, but I feel like this shift, this reframe of really putting the focus and the intention and the intensity, putting that on the area, and then dispersing it, right? Like that's scattering it. That is really where the magic is. So I'll do it like a few times. So we're going to breathe in, I'm going to tense up, and then I'm going to release very quickly. And as I'm releasing, I'm visualizing, I'm seeing this energy that's stored up, and I'm feeling this energy that's stored up, and I'm intending it to push out. I'm intending it to disperse in my body, right? You have to have this intention. This is the masculine, right? When we channel our masculine, when we intend something, it can happen. When we use the power that God put inside of us, we can make shit happen. All right, so use that intention, use that will. See it in your mind's eye. Will it, intend it, it will happen, okay? So I'm going to do a few more of these and then we'll wrap up. So let's go. Breathe in, and I'm breathing in, and I'm super tense, right? I'm holding like that pelvic floor. I'm really tense. I'm really visualizing. I'm really feeling the energy that's stored in that area. And I'm holding as long as I can, and then I'm releasing. And when you release, I want you to just let the body go. I want you to fully feel into it. And we're going to do this again. Let's breathe in, super tense, hold in that area. Hold, and release. And let's do one more. Breathe in. Super tight, super focused, super intentional about where this energy is going, about where we want this focus. Right, focusing on that pelvic area, focusing on where the energy is, where the block is at. Holding as long as we can, tightening as much as we can, focusing as much as we can, and then from that focus, release, disbursement. Let it go. Let it go throughout. So I'll just say this real quick. Yesterday I was at work and I was thinking about this woman. And I kid you not, I fucking caught a fucking boner at work and I was like, fuck. And I started doing this shit. And I was good in like a couple minutes. Not gonna lie, it was coming back and forth, you know, but you know what I mean? It takes diligence. This sexual energy mastery shit, this shit takes work. I mean, it's a process, it's a journey, but I hope that this video can help you out, because this technique has really given me a lot of will in life to know that I can transmute my sexual energy and that I'm not a slave to it. And so, yeah, I just hope it helps you out. Alright, I'm gonna catch you up.